All right, everyone, just setting up. I'm going to let a few minutes go by to let some people come in. Just if there's anyone here already, essentially the game plan is we're going to go through all those short videos I put out this week, go over the markets a little bit as well, and then maybe ping out some ideas of things we want to look at and wrap it up after that. I just realized I was muted pretty much that entire time. I apologize. So let's run this back. I'll edit out that first little bit. Yeah. Okay, that was great. Let me have some more coffee. But we're good now. All right. So basically, what I was saying is that I've been doing these shorter term videos that you see on screen here for a while now. Well, a week and a bit. And the feedback has been great, right? I see your guys' comments. If I don't respond to them all, I apologize. I try to, but I see all comments that are, I try to respond to all comments that are constructive. More than Sam. So the feedback's great, right? I think every video has got a comment or two from a different one of you guys saying, I really like the short form content. I like that I just quickly get to see an idea of something that you're looking at. I like doing them because they're quick. The views, like if we just compare, right? If we could just compare, right, this short video that took me 5 minutes to create versus, well, something like this that took, a couple hours, right? You got to script it out. You got to record it in a way that it sounds good, and then you've got to edit and upload it and all that kind of stuff. So these are taking way less time, and you guys seem to be liking them more, right? I don't have any other way to check whether people are interested other than, do they watch it? Do they write a comment on it? Do they give it a like, right? Is that kind of thing? That's the only kind of feedback I have. So I like making them because, again, I can do one a night and they're very quick. You guys seem to like them based off the comments I see. But again, what I was saying is I don't want to just be here's a stock that I like, now go. Here's a stock that I like, that now go. That doesn't really, I don't think that helps as a trader for most people. I think looking at process and looking at it's not, the sexy part of it, but it's the important part of it, right? What's my process, right? Things like that. But there's something to be said in the fact that, right, here's a bunch of process-driven ones, especially this one, right, versus those other ones. So part of my thinking is if I can get people in the door with these short ones, and if you guys like them and they're quick to make, I'll continue to make those. But what I'll do is I'll kind of spread these in throughout in hopes that I'm able to maybe bring some people in with some clickbait or something here and then teach them something there. If that makes sense. So the game plan going forward, and I always say this because, again, give me feedback. I do this because I like it, but I do it mainly because I like to teach, and I kind of want to counter some of the BS that's out there in this industry. So your guys' feedback is always taken to heart. So the game plan would be these short videos once a day of just kind of what I was thinking of the market or a stock that I'm interested in or something like that. One longer form video a week where I kind of talk about an educational topic or something like that. And then one live stream or more a week where I just sit and shoot the shit with you guys. Kind of what I'm thinking. And then the other bit of housekeeping before we kind of get right into it is Sam, saying congrats on the website. Thank you. So go check out this video, guys. I launched a website. I don't know what I'm going to sell on it yet, but here's my website. So I'm officially a CMT. I'm trying to figure out how to change my name on YouTube, but that seems complicated. So now that I'm officially a CMT, I feel like I should start, taking this internet game a little more seriously, which you guys have heard me talk about all year. So right now, all it has is a link to the tools that I use. So these are affiliate links, just full disclosure. The free trading course that I did with Jess. So if you guys are interested, it takes a second to load this page because there's all 36 episodes just embedded here with a little description and everything. So you can go through, right? If there's a topic that you're interested in or anything like that, you can talk about, here's the platform, going over some trade ideas. But again, all 36 episodes are up here for free. This is just about me. It's probably not interesting to you guys, but people that run across the thing, right? And here's me, CMT now. Fucking 3 years of battle to make it, but I did. Sign up for mentoring courses if you want to sign up, or mentorship one-on-one. Really the only kind of paid thing I have for now. And then I'm going to start blogging as well. Now, if anyone has seen my Twitter or had me email them, they know that I'm not the best with the spelling and the grammar and the words. I'm better with the math, but I'm going to give it a shot. I think what this blog is going to mainly be is me putting a video that I did up, and then a written explanation around that video for people who maybe aren't a fan of video content, but they like reading content and stuff. So you can get it all here. So for example, this short squeeze video I did when GME was going nuts. This is one that I just built to test everything, and it's just a little written explanation about what's going on, and then a link to the video. So if you want to go here, and then on every page you can dump your email in here. I promise I will not spam you. It will not become a here's 3 emails a day. I don't like that, right? I want to make sure that if you put your email in here, when I email you, it's going to be something that you're either going to maybe be interested in, and maybe I'll launch a product or something like that. I'll email you guys about that. Maybe I'll start doing, where I'll take these videos that I do that are going to be weekend wrap-ups, I'll edit them down, and I'll just email them out to people as another way to push people kind of back to the YouTube and make sure that they're seeing things that I think they should see. But it won't be here's 5 emails a day kind of thing, right? But that's it for now. My plan is to obviously think on it and try to figure out something that I can do. That basically what I want to do is I want to make sure I'm doing something that provides a stupid amount of value, but then also rewards me. So, right, like I don't, there's nothing, you're not going to see anything for, 5K on there that's like here's an algorithm, take care of it. But courses or something like that, but something that I think is I won't be happy with it until I think it's like above and beyond. You guys you're paying X and you're getting 5 times X, right? So again, ideas, and I see one there from Sam. I like that. But yeah, just, again, something to, I want to look at it all as kind of like mutually beneficial stuff, right? Like I get a few bucks and you guys get enough content or exclusive content that's amazing for you. So the plan today is I'm going to rip through all of the ETFs that I take a look at. We're going to just do some overview of the market, see what's going on there. Then I'm going to go through those 5 short videos that I did throughout the week, and how I traded them and everything that happened. I'm trying to hide a specific part of my room, my office. That right there is an absolute mess. If Jess sees that, she'll be mad. But yeah, and then maybe try to scan and find a couple for the next one. There was some great trades from this, so I think there's going to be some good lessons from these shorts. So that's, again, by the people who watch this, I'm going to edit it down so they don't see that first kind of rant. But again, the point of these is to wrap up those short videos, those 5 short videos that I make, talk about how I traded them, give you guys some ideas to improve your trading from there, and then expand out and try to find some for the next week and show how I'll be trading them, things like that. Good morning. What's my website address? I got to get used to plugging this. I'm famous on the internet now, right? Bam. StatsEdgeTrading.com. It'll be something someday. It's a little something right now, but it'll be something someday. So, market. It was a rough one for some, for sure. Why is my external link not work? Let's try this again. Delete. Add link. If you guys missed it, we did a awesome webinar with TrendSpider. Unfortunately, it didn't get recorded, but it was just it was really cool. Jake's why are you being an arse? Let's just try this all again. Yeah, Jake from TrendSpider is just a really cool dude. We hung out in Old Montreal when we went to Airplane Jane's conference there. Met him there, have been, he gave me access to the product to play around with. I've been using it ever since. I really like it, and unless something crazy happened here that I don't understand, yeah, there we go. I just need to refresh Chrome. Damn it. I just closed down the thing. Oh no, it's still there. That's good. So yeah, we link together now. So if you're interested in something that expands your charting capabilities on top of what Trade Ideas can do, the link is in the description below the video. That's, again, an affiliate link, full disclosure. I never want to hide any of that stuff. But so taking a look at the SPY, always where I want to start. For a good wrap up of these, I'm definitely going to shoot you guys to Brian Shannon at Alpha Trends. He's like my mentor when it comes to technical analysis, so check him out. Full disclosure, he's going to do a much better job on a lot of this stuff, but it's different takes, I guess. So I'm taking a look at the Anchored VWAP down here from this low, and that's all the way down here at 368. And if we go out further, I'm always keeping an eye on the Anchored VWAP from the pandemic low, which is way down here at 319. Let's actually turn off log for this. So we've got a lot of room that we can go and it still be healthy, right? I've seen this tradition recently of, oh my God, the market's gone down. It's the end of the goddamn world. Run. And then, right, it happened here, right? Remember, that was the end of the world and everyone was scared. That was fun times. It happened. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Right back here, that was the pandemic. So that was kind of, I think everyone was scared there. But right, this was supposed to be horrible. This was supposed to be horrible. Right. I've been, my ear to the ground with other traders and people saying the election was going to be bad because XYZ conspiracy theory or thing. Again, I'm Canadian, no political dog in the fight, but just saying that after the pandemic lows, that pandemic crash, I have heard everybody in the sun come out and say, well, that's the end. We're going to go retest the lows, and that's the end. We're going to retest the lows. And it actually reminds me, if we go way back to 2008. So in 2008, this is a monthly chart now, but in 2008 and 9, well, I guess 6, 7, 8, and 9, right? This craziness that happened. I remember every single dip after that for the next 3 years, people were talking about, oh, we're going to retest the lows. Oh, we're going to retest the lows. Oh, we're going to, it was on CNBC. It was everywhere. And I think we're seeing some of the same kind of thing here, where after, now, as someone who just finished my CMT, and as a chartered market technician, I can tell you about recency bias. Essentially, people get more worried, and this is just something that once it's explained makes perfect sense, but people get more worried that something that happened recently has a better chance of happening again, right? So if a crash happened recently, more people are worried that, sorry, I'm just raising this out of my way so I can see chat there. So people would be more worried that this is going to happen again. And then what happens is complacency comes in when you separate enough in time from a recent event. And it's not just in trading. This is just a psychological phenomenon that occurs. So I think we're seeing a lot of that going on right now, where there's people who maybe missed the lows or the wall of worry, whatever you want to call it, but everyone's saying, okay, we're going to go retest the lows. We're going to go retest the lows. So again, I'm not too worried about that. But that being said, we've been doing this kind of uptrending motion for a long time, right? If you're an Elliott wave guy, you got 1, 2, 3. So you would, again, not big on Elliott waves, so someone who knows better will probably correct me, but I would say might be a wave 1, and that might be a wave 2, and that might be a wave 3, and then maybe we're looking for a 4, and then a 5 is how these guys would look at it. But for me, it's more, I treat my trading way simpler. What's the overall trend recently, right? Higher. Right. So in my time frame, I'm going to continue to look to be long. Now I'm going to watch things like this low that was created here. I'm going to watch this low right here. I'm going to watch this anchored VWAP. So basically, more or less, I'm not worried until we kind of get in and below 370-ish, give or take. If we get lower, right, this is going to be kind of the ultimate area. This 320 is going to be huge, I think, for us. So if we go back on why I'm kind of looking at this area, is if we just zoom out and let's take 327 to 320, right, like that. You can see we have resistance here. When we broke out here, that's when we got this big move. Support here, support here. So this is kind of the area that I'd be interested in. We also have some band going in through here in the 300 area. And again, it's these pullbacks in a market are healthy. A pullback to retest this high that we broke out of, that would be healthy, right? So it would be normal market action for us to come back here and test and then go from there. So again, I'm not too worried one way or the other. Again, I'm a trader. I'm going to trade what I see. But I think we have a lot of support right below us. So ideally, what I would like, because I'm mostly in cash right now, I'll show you a couple trades that I'm in, but mostly scalps. Even if they're swing trades, they're like swing scalps. I wouldn't mind a nice, blow off, scare the crap out of everyone kind of down in this area, and then maybe back and fill for a bit and then move higher. I think that would give us a good area to get involved in the market. So that's what I'm watching for the SPY overall. But I actually like to go through these. So we're going to go through these on the monthly because we have a new monthly candle, a weekly because we have a new weekly candle, and then a daily because we have a new daily candle. And again, this is just work that I do on my own anyway. I've got my iPad here with some chill hip hop type shit. So I just think there may be some benefit in you guys watching this type of thing. And I'm going to make some notes here as well and share some of these kind of highlights on Twitter. But TLT is pulling right back into this area where it came out before here. So I'm going to snapshot that. You can see, right, we broke out here on TLT, and then we came back, we retested it. So it'll be interesting to see if we hold here and then push higher again. How did I even do that with my drawing tool? Oh well. So that's interesting. So we'll go take a look at the weekly. Same kind of thing, right? Obviously on the weekly chart, it's not something, you're going to be betting bullish right away on. this thing's been hammered. There is this area of support that's going on right here. So again, maybe we get some backing and filling. How did I get in rainbow mode on this thing? What'd I do? We'll see. Let's see in a second here. But yeah, so if we hold this as support, again, this is a weekly chart. It's going to hold for a period of time. It could, obviously could bounce, and then you'd be looking for the next retest. But ideally for bonds, we're going to get a chop around here. I don't even know how to preferences. First color 1. Okay, there we go. So that's interesting. And then into the daily, I think we're just going to see, yeah. So we came in right to that support area right here, and then we just put in a big bounce on Friday. So, again, I'm not one to be fighting this. Right? We broke down out of this channel. Maybe we'll come back into it, base for a bit, and then go. Again, so I look at these things more or less to kind of tailor stocks that I'll look through, right? A top-down type of view. What's the market look like? What do the indices look like? What do the individual stocks look like? So if we take a look here on XLF, we have this very interesting, XLE, the energy sector. On the monthly chart, we broke down the bottom here from this crash when oil prices went to negative and all that, and now we're putting a little double bottom on the monthly. Now we're back above it. So this could be a nice looking chance to get some long. Now, relative to the overall market, we haven't really done anything, right? So here's 290 bars. So basically a year has gone by here and nothing's happened. So it'll be interesting to see now that we've broken this high right here, and now we've come back and retested it. If it holds on here and then maybe pushes higher, maybe it's time. Maybe it's oil's time this time. I'm not going to do daily, weekly, monthly for all of them. I'm just going to do it for the handful of the ones that I'm the most interested in. I'll just scan through the daily and the rest, and I'll look through the rest of the charts on my own later. Biotechs are pulling back here a little bit. Software as a services. Geez, that's a pullback. Silver, I just kind of almost feel bad for the silver guys, right? There was this one day where there was all that disinformation about this is what Wall Street bets are interested in, it was hilarious to see because I've been following the Wall Street bets whole thing. I like it. I like the concept of interesting. Yeah, I like the concept of these guys, and as much as the memes are hilarious to me anyway. Right? Don't go there if you're easily offended, but the memes are hilarious to me. But I'm seeing due diligence that I haven't seen anywhere else on the internet, like actual, not so much chart analysis, but fundamental type stuff. It just like stuff that Goldman Sachs would train some MBA student and pay them a crap ton of money in order to do. It's just great. But anyway, so these poor bastards that were like, oh yeah, they're going after silver next. And they didn't bother to actually go to the website to see them. And all of the website was saying, hey, if you're talking about silver, you're not one of us. It's all about GameStop. It's all about GameStop. So I missed the short. I was actually thinking of when it gapped up and it put in this bearish candle, just trying to short under those lows for a couple day hold. But anyway, this still looks dangerous to me. Is a list of ETFs available? Yeah, so I think this is a custom list from me. I think. Which account is this? Wrong account. I have too many Trade Ideas accounts. But yeah, I can get that for you, no problem. There's someone in chat asking for the ETF list. It's more or less just mine. Like it's to each their own, right? Add or remove or change or modify in any way that you see fit. This is just I wonder if I can paste this in chat. Eesh, that looks ugly. You'll have to put in your own spaces or just fire me an email to remind me and I'll email them back to you. That's just how it pastes through. But yeah, you can just go into Trade Ideas and you just take your symbol list and then I've just added them. They're all just the most major traded ones. I'm going to do a more detailed list later. Start looking at compare counts. Like I have to look at compare charts or I'm not an official CMT, right? That's how it works. If I'm not posting USO over oil over something else, then I'm not really. I think they take away my designation. Oh, so here's one I wanted to look at: monthly, weekly, daily. So gold has been just shit kicked since these highs, right? So these were the highs in 2008, 2009, 2010, right? The financial crash, end of the world. We finally got back up to those over a long, long period of time. It took forever to make this growth. And then a little push down from there. So it'll be interesting to see if this is kind of just backing and filling, and then it's going to take another crack at it. But, it could come all the way. The nearest solid area that I see is a long way away. So it's definitely not encouraging, from my point of view anyway, to be a gold bug here. Weekly is the same thing, right? There's no question on that trend. It's just downtrend with really nothing in sight to stop it. And even if it does, it's going to take, this is a weekly chart, so it's going to take weeks in order to resolve if it wants to turn. And then let's hit the daily. It's going to be more of the same. So the daily, I do see some short-term potential support right in here. It's just been riding this down channel down, however, right? So what would Brian Shannon call it? Guilty until proven innocent, right? Just no reason to really be involved on the long side in gold, in my opinion, right now. If it bounces up here, maybe this is support here. It bounces up here and pulls back a bit, then maybe starts to go as this gets kind of tighter and tighter. Maybe it's going to take a week or so to resolve that. So I'm not going to be interested in any gold stuff next week. So generally speaking, I've changed my layout some so you guys can see, but I have TrendSpider up here as daily, and then I'll actually have a Trade Ideas one over here, and then a monthly Trade Ideas one over here, so I can actually see all the 3 time frames at the same time. But they're not small for me, but they get really small for you guys, so I'm just switching the TrendSpider one around. Mainly on the weekly and the daily is I want to see just support and resistance. So like when I look at USO here for oil, it's much easier to see how much room it has left to go if this bull trend is going to continue, because we're obviously, since this crazy crash, we took forever, like almost a year, just basing sideways here. And then we've started this pretty solid uptrend from here. So I look over at the weekly and then I say, okay, well, it's got room to like 70 if it wants to fill this gap here, which, stocks have a tendency to hunt to fill gaps. So, maybe it's oil's turn, which means maybe it's Canada's turn. Speaking of, right, I think 1/3 of the Canadian market is oil and 1/3 of the Canadian market is financials. So financials have broken out over this prior resistance, kind of right in this area. Little pop overhead, and we've come back here to test. It'll be interesting to see if we hold this for maybe a week or so and then push higher. I think that's awesome. That's the kind of constructive price action that I think we need now. I meant to show you guys the monthly, right, where you can see how important this level has been, right? We had resistance here, here, and here, broken, closed a monthly candle above it. That's exciting. On the short term, weekly is kind of interesting here, where you see this topping tail. Right, I'm a big candlestick nerd. This topping tail actually coincides with just being right outside of this upper trend line. So I'm taking a look at that and I'm saying, well, right, does that mean, is this topping tail on the weekly showing us that next week on these financials may actually be a down week? But if we hold that area that I showed earlier, will that down week be a buying opportunity for a move higher? Again, I don't trade any of these. This is all just to get it's the forest for the trees. And I actually learned all this from JC at All Star Charts, which if you're not following, go do now. It's a great follow, great analyst. But yeah, I was always focused on the stocks and the stocks and the stocks that I'm going to trade. And then sometimes I would find out, when I started to learn from him, to back out and say, look at the monthly charts, look at the weekly charts, look at everything around what you're trading. I noticed that my trading improved dramatically, because sometimes it'd be like, that stock looks great, but it's in this sector that doesn't look great, or it's, the market looks like crap right now or something. And it would just be another, like almost a filter to keep me out of trades. And those trades that I stayed out of were more often than not losers. So just a slight tweak to my win rate. Okay, so last one here is SLX, which is the steel ETF, which is kind of interesting because we have this resistance that you can see we've tested, and we also have this kind of downtrending, slightly downward sloping line here. And we've put in that weekly topping tail right there. And then on the daily, right, you can see we broke this high a little bit, and then we kind of crash back through it the next couple of days. So I'll be watching this support area, which you can also see on the TrendSpider charts is a high volume node right in this area. So to see if we come back and test that and then maybe bounce. If we turn right away, I think that's even more bullish. But, again, strong sector here for now anyway. So let's go to my YouTube and talk about those short videos I did this week. You guys seem to like. So I'm going to start doing these. I'm going to keep doing these every day. Most days I may miss a day or two, in which I just basically do a very quick, so this is the one I did on Sunday, very quick, basically just saying, so I know you guys can't hear it, I'm looking at this and these are the reason why, and watching this for tomorrow, and away we go. So again, the game plan for anyone who came in later is these live streams are going to be my summary of the market, which we just did, and then wrapping up what I did with all of these shorts throughout the week, and then also talking about any videos that I released as well. So I have released this Keltner channel video. Now that these are live on the Trade Ideas charts, I built the math in for that. So I would recommend, if you're interested in these, to take a look if you're a Keltner channel guy, or if you want to learn what Keltner channels are. That's the only educational video. So now let's go through the trade. So the first one was ATI, and that was on Sunday. So I was watching. You can see what an action here, right? Let's take out the post market there. So I was watching ATI. You can see I was drawing. I made the video when the stock was, where's my, there it is. When the stock was right here. So, right, your textbook, very textbook ascending triangle. Big, strong push up, and then tightening up here. I liked the short float at 10%. 124 million shares isn't an insane short float at all. So that was the synopsis from it. Does the black hole scan working for me? Yeah, I like that. That's one of my favorite scans right now, that black hole one. It can't share it, unfortunately. It's like got 1,000 customs in it. But so the theory was basically just this, right? If we broke out and hold, like how did the chart look like on the video itself, just to make sure I'm, yeah. So it was right after. That's what I thought. It was right after this day right here. So we basically had broken out of this resistance and we held above it for that day. One thing that I did, and this talked about this in the webinar I did with the TrendSpider guys, I'm liking these raindrop charts, which are essentially volume profile charts. So when we looked at that other chart, it looked like it had just kind of poked its head up above this resistance a little bit. But when we look at these raindrop charts, essentially the bigger the hump on the chart, the more volume was done in that area, if that makes sense. So the fact that all of the volume was actually printed above this resistance area gave me more credence to it. So I used that as, okay, this is the video I'm going to share with everybody, and this is the stock that I'm interested in for Monday. How I traded it, I basically just got involved right in this area as we broke the close from the prior day. My initial stop was just under that, under this resistance area right here. And then I trailed the stop daily underneath these daily candles. So then I was just triggered out the rest of my position in this area. I got out some on this candle, I want to say like halfway through. So, long and short of it was my entry was right here on the break of this close, and my exit was kind of in an average of somewhere in this area. So just a great 3 day scalp on that one. What was next? What I do next? DYN. I remember DYN and not doing a whole lot. So basically the synopsis of DYN was I was looking at this downtrend right here, and then this right here. So basically just looking at this support area. If we go back, you can see there's a lot of support kind of in this area. My theory was maybe if we broke out of this, we could push higher. I did take it above these highs when it basically, so I zoom in a bit. Maybe we'll go into an intraday. Do we have 65-minute? Yeah. So there we go. So yeah, so I was basically, I got involved above this right here. It came up. I wish I took some off. I didn't. Came back down. The next day it popped back up again. And when it was coming back through that area, I took it out for a small loss to a break even. Jay Corona. Up on early on the West Coast. Do I owe you an email? Do I owe you an email, man? Did I forget to email you back? If so, tell me and I'll apologize, and then I'll email you right when I'm done here. Looking back at DYN, it really wouldn't have changed anything. The theory was there's so much volume here, there's so much support in through here, that if it broke, I thought maybe we could get going a little bit. I wouldn't change anything about this trade. In fact, if it settled here for a while and tried again, I might take another shot on it. Again, part of these is reviewing my own trading as well, right? I'm constantly looking at myself. Take your time, no worries. Okay, so that means I do owe you an email. Okay, I will write that down. I am really bad at that. So IGT. So let's take a look at, that was Wednesdays. So I was talking about it. Yeah, right here. So the theory with IGT was just these right here, and then the right there. So basically I was looking for it to break out of here. I didn't actually trade this at all, but I'm still watching it. Basically, couldn't clear too well, right? This is when the market was looking kind of squirrely, but it closed right here. So if, we open up kind of in this area tonight and then start to break up through, I may look to get involved in this one. I still like the pattern. It's still in the pattern. If you ignore the closes, a lot of people, they just want to look at the high low, or they want to ignore the high and the low. They just want to look at the open and the close. Then technically Friday would have been an entry. I wouldn't really have entered anything on Friday. Just again, the market's just a little squirrely. But if we look here on the weekly chart, you can see kind of the theory here is just big, strong push up, and now it's consolidating here. If I can time a good entry on that, maybe we shoot up and try to test 30 or something. But nothing really to see here, basically, because I didn't enter anything, but I'm still interested. So I have an alert set, I think at like 1850. Yeah, 1850 on that one. So far we're what? One winner, one loser, one no trade. DBI was the Thursday one that I was looking at. And you can see nothing, right? So DBI, we basically opened the next day right here. The theory was, right, a break and a hold above this resistance. Maybe we get going. But we broke up the next day and we just sold back down. So I don't like it as much anymore because I bet you this traps some people in. But it's still, just chopping sideways. I guess in theory, it hasn't really invalidated what I was looking at, which is just a strong push up and then this kind of, this chop sideways. So maybe if we get a break and a hold above there, I'll take another shot at it. And last but not least, I don't even need to look at this one because I'm still in, is APLS. You can see here's my orders to sell right here on the chart. So I'm in two different accounts, a retirement account, something else, but let's actually delete. I don't need this line anymore. So we'll remove them all. So the theory with ALPS, basically I gave this to you guys on Thursday, so minus this day's candle. And this was the theory behind it, was just looking at you can see that, right, we have a high, we have a lower high, and then maybe a lower high, hopefully not because I'm in it, but then we have a low and then we have a higher low. So if we break this area, this $50 area, then that's technically a change in trend. Right? We've had lower highs and lower lows, but now we've had a higher low. And then if we get a higher high, technically a change in trend. So maybe a run at this area. So this is how I do all of my thinking about trades, guys, right? I'm in at, basically just took it as it broke. Zoom in. Oops. I'm so bad at that. See these two topping tails that happened in through here. So I'm long right over this area. So I'm in it, I don't know, let's call it, yeah, I think it's around 47. So let's just say 47 to make my math easy. I'm going to be wrong at 45, so I'm risking $2. If I'm right, I could definitely get to 57, right? So I'm risking 2 to make at 10. So that's a 5-to-1 risk reward. That's all I need, right? Again, this will not be the channel where I say, oh, I'm right all the time. Come make $1 million, you'll turn $2 into 8,000. Look at me, I made $50 million today. Like, that's all horseshit. But what trading really is, and what trading is for me anyway, is you risk a tiny amount to make a bigger amount, and you hope you're right half the time. And, as you get better at trading, maybe you're right 2/3 of the time. And if you're risking a small amount to make a massive amount, then it's great. That's just the nature of the game. So basically, I'm in there. I won't risk much more than probably the low of yesterday at this point. These type of moves, they should get me to kind of a break-even type of a stop as quickly as I can, just to see, right? Because ideally, I want to see kind of like a trend like this. I don't want to, have this. If this comes back under this area, then I'm just going to get out of the trade. I've got a good enough entry price that even if I have to come back here and stop out now, it's not going to hurt that much at all. And again, that's trading. So let's take a look at some stocks for Monday. Because the game plan is I'm going to scan for these with you guys here, and then I'm going to make that short video, upload it, and away we go. And then I'm going to email back Jay Corona, which I obviously forgot about. If you guys ever email me and I don't get back to you in a couple days, just do it again. It just means I forgot. So PGen, you can see I've already annotated this. I've been watching this one for a while. It's just such a sloppy trader. It's just what I don't like about it. It's just so, like, the weekly looks great. Right? The weekly, you take a look at it, you see this just nice, simple pullback into prior resistance, could potentially be support. It could pull up and go. This is going to be one of those stocks that I just think I'm not going to be patient enough for. If you're the kind of person that you were buying and holding for a couple weeks and you were okay with just, buying some and just putting your stop down there and saying, okay, if it breaks that, I'm wrong. If not, I'm great. Then, you could do that. I just, when you zoom into the daily chart, like, I'm one of those that I want, because I'm so focused on risk reward and not win rate at all, I'm not one that say I want to give them some wiggle room, right? I want to get in, and if it doesn't work right away, get out. So maybe, right? I like the fact that this high volume node right here, right? So there's a lot of volume. Basically, if you're new to this kind of chart, it's volume, but instead of volume being done on the bottom where it's showing you how much volume each day, it's showing you how much volume was done at each price. So you can see that around this $8 to $9 area, there's been a lot of volume done. So call it $8.50. There's just been an incredible amount of volume done. So basically, if we get above that, it just means that the people who are trading in here are the shorts are losing money and the longs are making money, which if you're long, that's exactly what you want to see. And vice versa. If it breaks down here, okay, everybody who bought in this area is now losing money and may need to sell. And everybody who has shorted in this area is making money and they're probably going to sit tight. So I do like the look of that. And I do like the look that there's a bit of kind of support in this area. So I think what you're seeing is I'm talking myself into this trade. So I'm going to just put this right here. And then I'm just going to create an alert on this line. And do it on the shortest term time frame and then go okay. So I'm going to try to grab this one, I think, maybe if it gets through here with a stop down there. Some of my scans are custom and can't be shared, but some of them are not. And so let me give you, I've got this one. I would highly recommend GME. Maybe not the GME, but I would check out this one. This is the one I'm going to go through next, Brian. Check that one out and grab that one. Basically what it is, it's using our score filter, which basically ranks stocks by technical, fundamental, statistics, right? It ranks all stocks. So a rank of 72 is actually pretty good. A rank in the 90s is much better, but I've taken that and I've applied short volume, which this is a scan that Steve and Andy created. And then I put my own spin on it, basically just saying I don't want stocks that have kind of ripped straight up. I want them to have pulled back a little bit. And I do find some good names from this. So this is what we're going to go through next. And I'm going to talk about my GME journey too. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I had a hell of a day on GME. But so PGen I'm interested in. I don't know if that's going to be the video or not. Can you please share it on YouTube? Oh, my GME story? Yeah. Maybe I'll edit that part out. It was I'm still recovering from the hangover from Celebration. For anyone, I'll see if I can find the tweet. For anyone who missed it, I had not my best day ever, but really friggin' close, and probably the best day I'm gonna have in a long time. Something I consider kind of just bullshit luck, right? And that's how I'm gonna phrase it. It was not kind of real trading. It was BS luck. Where was it? I tweet much more than I thought I did. Much more. Yeah. Here it is. So there was my day on no, the scan. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, there was my day on GME. Nuts. Again, not something that I would even really consider trading. Again, we'll talk about that in a bit. This scan that you're seeing here, I may do some work on, but it's just, there's like 17 customs in it. It's just such a mess when it comes to custom. But basically, it's looking for strong stocks that are kind of chilling out, right? They were strong, but now they're kind of congestion, I guess the best way to do it, right? There's DVI that we found the other day. There's really not a lot from here. So it looks like PGen may be that video that I went from there. Oh, you're famous. Yeah, that was just a hell of a it's here, and there's IGT again, right? So might just be more of the same for next week. My trading is very simple and very boring, guys, and trading should be very simple and very boring. It's just what's strong, right? What's stronger than the market? How do I get involved in stocks that are stronger in the market, and then managing the trade from there, right? I don't think there's a magic kind of above and beyond that. So this ESI is also interesting to me. Insanely strong stock. If you look here on the weekly, went from $6 to $20, and now it's spent the last 3 months or so just kind of basing sideways here. We have this big engulfing candle here, and then this little inside bullish candle. Let's take a look at it on the raindrop charts. Yeah, that's even more interesting there. So I think it's going to be ESI is going to be the one that I'm watching for Monday here. Add that in and pop that up and create an alert. Boop, boop, boop. And then I also add them to my liked list right here. How easy to get other data added to trade ideas? You can't. It's our data, and that's the only data you get. What other data were you looking for? No, we are kind of the masters of all the data that comes in. We use I think 5 or 6 different data sources and then aggregate them. But yeah, there's not really much you can add in. We're looking to add data in ourselves. We're looking to add some social data in there. We got rid of the stock twits because we didn't find much value and there were some kind of issues there. But I want them to do some NLP type stuff where, you know, you can read things and scrub them. Am I streaming somewhere else as well? No, but if you're not seeing some people's chats, I've noticed that's a thing on YouTube now, and I don't know why, or if there's any. Again, I need a guy who like really gets YouTube. Yeah, there's like you can't see everyone else's kind of video. Highest option strike price. I don't think that'd be something we'd be interested in, to be honest. What time frame is that ESI? So what you're looking at here on the TrendSpider chart is a daily chart. And then down here on this Trade Ideas chart, this is a weekly chart. So it's daily here and then a weekly down there. I can't see other comments. Yeah, I've noticed that, man. I don't know why. It's been a pain too with our with the Trade Ideas live stream that we have going every day. It's been a bit of a pain for sure. But yeah, I'm not talking to myself. There are other comments going on. I don't know what's happening, but all right. So so far, what do we have? We did what was it? PGen. I gotta start writing these down. I'm getting too old and it's too early in the morning. It's not like J Corona early in the morning, but it's early. So what am I? Yeah, so we're PGen and ESI were our two most interesting so far. GME, so my GME story. So again, I posted the P&L. I usually don't do that. I did get carried away just because I was not expecting what happened. But let's just zoom in. I'll show you what I was looking at. So I had, it was kind of like this before all that at the time, right? So we all know the story with GME, right? It popped out, things tanked right after, right? It had that squeeze. The whole world got involved in buying GME. It then tanked after that. Now, it had gapped up after this long sell-off. Again, I'm a trader. I'm not one of those that's like this thing's going to $1 million. If it does, I still have some, and that would be great. But again, as a trader, what I was looking at is this thing had sold off, it gapped up, and then it was really starting to hold this level right here. Where's my better tools? And it was really holding this level right here. So if we look, my entry price was 43.51, and I have 200 left. But you can see I had closed half, so I bought 400 shares total, and I just had them in this area right here. So basically, what I was looking at is it had this area of support, and then it had this kind of downtrend line like this. So my theory was, you know, buy it here. Maybe if it gets back to like 55 or 60, right? I was just risking, you know, a little bit under this kind of area, give or take. And then of course, right, without even me noticing, I was on a live stream or I was somewhere else, and then this occurred. So I actually sold out those 200 shares at the end of the day, right in the 90s. I think I got like 90, 95. Basically, the theory was I wanted to sell it out before 100. Then I sold out a little bit more in this area, right? When we basically, I was hoping that, you know, the kids had a shot and it was going to just run from here to 500. I still had 200 left. So then I actually just took some out right when it couldn't hold this kind of area right here. I forget my exact price. I want to say it was like 120-ish or so. And then just because I'm a degenerate, I guess, is I bought back a little bit on Friday right here. Basically, if GME goes to zero, I think I net even on the trade, right, with what I've got. So don't cry for me, but it's just a trading instrument. Um, Parabolic City for sure. Why did they like so yeah, so Brian's comment right here. It said held for review. I don't know why. Maybe it thinks you're swearing at me or something, Brian. I don't. Again, I need someone who understands YouTube. But yeah, that was kind of my theory on just rebuying some. I picked some back up here. I think that moved my average price into this area somewhere, and I'll protect that. Right? I won't. I'm not diamond handing this thing as much as I'll meme about it. But again, just a good trading instrument. Now time for my warnings. If you're new to trading, don't touch this thing, right? If you are struggling at trading, don't touch this thing. If you're if you have a small account, don't touch this thing, right? I'm basically, you know, I hate talking numbers really, and then that's why I really don't like that I even post that profit. I try not to be that guy. I got excited, right? That's a big day, but you know, if you have a $100,000 account and you want to play with $5,000 of it on something like a GME, I think that's fine as long as you have a game plan and you're not going to be the guy who keeps buying on the way down, all of those type of thing. Um, you know, I let in the Parabolic City comment. I just don't know why it made me click to allow it in. It was weird. So yeah, if you've got a small account, if you're a new trader, if you're a struggling trader, don't. This is one of those trades that you only take the trade if you're okay with losing whatever you put into it, right? Like all of it, because I would like to say, oh, you could just put out a stop loss and then make sure that you're stopped out on time and things like this. But if you've watched this thing trade, it's open, trade for a second, halt, open, trade for a second, halt, open, trade for a second, halt. So, one bit of news comes in that DFV sold his stake or XYZ. I'm shocked that GameStop's never not come through and issued more shares. Like, I'm shocked. I would be, if I was a serious shareholder, I would be really mad at the CEO for not issuing more shares. When are you going to get a better price to issue more shares, right? So again, very, very dangerous, very, very volatile. No, you will not turn your $1,000 account into $1 million account trading GME. Just disclaimers, right? Also, I'm not a financial advisor. What the hell are you doing listening to me? There's another disclaimer. But yeah, the theory was just this, right? It had this area of kind of tightening action in here before the breakout. We came back to that area of tightening action. We put in this little doji. If I do log, is it easier to see? Yeah. So basically, I was looking at this little doji here on the daily. When we broke and held above that here-ish, that's when I got involved, because we had this doji and then we gapped up. We made another doji and then we held that support area. So somewhere in this candle is where I got involved. And then again, I'm chalking that one down to luck. Now, Sam was asking about AMD, and I forgot entirely about it. So let's take a look at AMD. Let's first take a look at the semiconductors, which is SMH. That's the semiconductor index, right? Yeah, so semiconductors look strong, right? You've got a nice strong trend here. You've got a nice uptrend going on here, right? Every time we pull back to this line, we bounce, we pull back to this line, we're putting in some digestive action there. That's how I'll always take a look at things first. But if we go to AMD, the weekly chart is interesting. Potential, if we look at this, potential maybe a bear trap of breaking these lows and then pushing, or yeah, bear trap, breaking these lows and pushing back up, maybe. So then on the intraday, really nothing. I don't really see anything super interesting here, to be blunt about it. It's just in the middle of a lot of chop. I'm one that I want to see it kind of clear one way or the other. You know, maybe you could play a support down here and resistance up here. You know, it's been doing this for a while. Maybe continue to play that. Maybe you wait till it pulls back, and if it holds here and then bounces, great. While you're playing inside of a range, it's interesting to always look to see. So if it doesn't make it all the way down to this line, but it actually bounces here and pushes up a bit and does like some of this, well, that might be a higher low inside of a range. That might be interesting as well. But really, it's one of those things. It's like I wouldn't do anything with this. Now, from a nerd standpoint and a fundamental standpoint, which I just like to talk about for fun, I never make trades off of. Intel is just getting its ass kicked in the whole semiconductor world, right? I'm a Mac dude, and I bought a desktop and a laptop of the new Apple, you know, where they're making their own chips and they're putting them in their own thing. And they're amazing compared to, I had one of those big Intel 15-inch MacBooks. Thing cost me like $4K. It was a monster, but it's like you looked at it and the fans turned on and it got hot. Whereas this new, the new chips they have, I'm streaming, I'm recording, I've got this open, I've got a couple charts up here open, I've got all kinds of things. I'm using 6% of the CPU and the fan's not on. It's nuts. But that's just from a fundamental point of view. So Intel is basically, in my opinion, has got to get its shit together before too long from just a fundamental point of view. Again, I'll never make a trade off that. It's just not what I do. But I always like to have the story, I guess, in my head just for fun. It's funny to see all the meme stocks on this A table, with AMC and GME and KOS, and basically because it's looking for heavily shorted securities. Well, this one's interesting. What do you do? So right off the jump, kind of what I'm seeing here, right? We've got this nice pennant type pattern going on here. Right, strong push up, low, lower high, higher equal low, maybe a lower high. So if we, continue to do this, maybe we get one of them on us, maybe. Earnings February 23rd, so they're out of the way. That's good. Short float 8%. It's not bad there. Profile. So what do you guys do? Space technology solutions, satellites, robots. Ooh, fancy. Again, I like to know what the company does just for stuff like that. Like, it's more for what is the potential of the security is why I look up what they do. If you're a massive bank, the amount that you can move, your beta, right? The amount that you move relative to the market is much less than something that's a pharmaceutical or a technology company or an EV or something like this. So it's not that I look at these things for direction, but I look at them for what's the potential of the move, right? What's the potential that can happen with these stocks? Is it something that's worth me putting my money into, or is it something that I think that's just going to sit there for a while, right? If you make satellites and space stuff, there just seems like more of a chance that you can get going one way or the other. And I would rather be stopped out of a trade quickly than chopping in. So hold on, let me get that video for you. I see a question of how I run trade ideas on a Mac. There are AWS day trading. I'm sure a lot of you have heard this rant before. but here is the video. You can check that out. So the long and short of it is that you can do two things. Well, three things. We have our web version, and our web version offers everything except the auto trader. So if you're not interested in auto trading, the web version does fine for all of that. The other option is Parallels, which is something that you install on your Mac, and you can run trade, or you can run Windows on your Mac that way, and then get the full version of Trade Ideas that way. The third option, what I use, is cloud computing. So what you're looking at here, this screen, is an AWS server. So it costs $50 a month, I think. That's a tax write-off as well. If you're making income trading, right, you can write off that expense against it. So, $500 a year-ish, with that being a tax write-off. So the benefits of using a cloud computer is that basically it offloads the processing, and also say I'm an algorithmic trader, right? If you follow me, I do most of my trading through telling the system to watch these symbols that I've done my analysis on, and then walking away and letting it do the execution, because it's better than I am, simply put. So say, for example, I do all this analysis, and then I want to turn off my computer and go outside and open up my laptop and work there, which is something that I do when it's not frigid cold out. It's always running in the back end. If I have a power outage, if I have an internet cutoff, if I have something, the system's always running up in the cloud without me. So that's one of the reasons that I like that way better. It means I can also connect it from, I've got my iPad, right? I could just connect to AWS from that and just check on my positions that way. I can connect to it from my phone, all those things. The downside is obviously you need to have a pretty solid internet connection. Otherwise, every time I click something, now it's pretty instant, you guys can see, but every time I click something, it's sending my click through the internet to the VPS or the server, and then it's sending the data back to me. So there's a bit of a lag there. So if your internet sucks, it's gonna be a hard time. But the third reason I use it is back when traveling was a thing. Remember when you could go places and shake people's hands and stuff like that? I did a lot of traveling for trade ideas and crypto interests I have, and other business interests I have outside of trading. I did 25 flights, I think, in 2019. I had a lot of traveling. I like that, again, I can close the lid of my laptop, I can be up in the air, and all of this stuff is still running. Right? Yeah, Brian says no emotion trading. Nice. It is, and it's basically my goal with trading is that, again, for those who don't know my history, I traded prop back on a trading floor back in the day, right? Just tons of dudes sitting shoulder to shoulder. I would place 250, 300 trades a day manually, right? In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, right? Buy once, set out 50 orders to get out of that position, manually doing all this. And at the end of every day, it was like I was hit by a truck, right? Now, that kind of trading is near dead, unless you believe red-headed scammers out there that are telling you that, no, I'm still doing it, which they're not. But I'm not here to pick a fight. So then I started looking at it, and I worked at the hedge fund space, which meant that my personal trading had to be a little bit more longer term in nature. And by longer term, I mean I went from using 1-minute charts to 15-minute charts. And now I'm from 15-minute charts to basically daily charts. But yeah, so what I do is I'm always looking for how can I do the analysis side of things, which is where I shine, and then let the robot deal with the execution and the this and the that and the other thing. So these symbols that you'll see me put in, like PGen, if I take a trade on PGen tomorrow, I'm not taking the trade at all. The robot is taking the trade. So I'll say, hey, robot, take a look at PGen. If it gets above yesterday's high and it hasn't gapped or done anything crazy, buy some there, put out the stop for me. I'll check on it in a couple hours and see what I have to use, kind of thing, right? Right. So all that's, taken care of for. And I see Brian said you trade, you want to upgrade a small account to work with Holly. Well, I think you can outperform the AI if you come up with a strategy. And again, with any kind of trade ideas version, you should be able to do a lot of this, right? But, there's the AI is great. I don't think is full auto trading. I think the AI shines as a scanning tool, and that's how I use it. Is looking at the stocks that come in and saying which one am I interested in, which one am I not, when and where. We allowed auto trading with it because people were demanding it so much. But for me, it's a great scanning and alerting tool. So I would focus on if you're looking to upgrade your account, focus on your own process, your own plan. When you get to the point where that kind of expense makes sense, then see how you can include that in your plan as well. Question: can you use Brokerage Plus in the web version? Not yet. It's in process. It's going to be a long process, full disclosure, but we are working on that where you'll be able to host everything in the web, and then I won't be using the downloaded version at all. As a Mac guy, I'll just go straight to the web. But for that, we need to do a lot of top-end server tech in which we allow our servers to deal with things like orders and prices and things like that, which right now it's not capable of. Right, so just can I expand this a bit? I should have looked at this more before. That fills the screen a little bit more, doesn't it? Oh well. We're going to wrap up in a little second here. I just need to finish going down this list, see if I see anything. But I think PGen or ESI is going to be what I'm going to make that short video on. But yeah, I'm just of the synopsis where I think if the market could be hacked by just pure math and algorithms, it would have been done so by like a DeepMind or a Watson or a Goldman Sachs would have hired 1 billion quants and paid them $500,000 a year plus $3 million in bonuses and gave them all the best tech and said, go beat the market with just pure math. Now, that doesn't mean there's no place for quantitative stuff. And again, I'm mostly a quantitative trader. But what I do is I think that the hybrid approach is the best one. The one that it's your... you find where you're weak and then you insert a robot there to help you. If you're weak at finding ideas, AI is amazing for that because she's just going to give you ideas with stop losses and profit targets. The statistics are in your favor with every trade you make, things like this. That's great. If you find you're good at analysis but bad at execution, well, then Brokerage Plus comes in to help with that execution side of things. So it's really one of those you got to look at and you could say, okay, where is my weakness as a trader? Now let me use technology to overcome that weakness. This SMPL is very interesting. You can see we're getting real tight here. 5% short float, so near nothing, but pretty low-ish float and earnings a long way away. So I'm definitely going to add this one to the list as well. So now we have PGen, ESI, and SMPL. So the beauty of it is you guys who are here the whole time, you can see all these the way it is. The guys who just watch the shorts video, they'll see just the output of this. But again, I'm doing this in the weekend, and then the rest of the week I'm just going to do the the shorts. And then I'm basically what I want to do with live streams. I kind of want to sprinkle them in as I feel, if that makes any sense. Expiration, and let's give this a couple days. There we go. So yeah, I really like this SMPL where, right, big strong push up, and here's our high, and then there's a higher high, and then a low, or a higher low, and then a lower high, and then a higher low. So right, we're getting tight in here. Do we continue like this, or do we just break out from here? I don't know, but I just set an alert along this trend line, which is something that I wish Trade Ideas have. We might in the future, but just this trend line down here, just to see if we break this, I'll be alerted by the system in through here. I see that people are coming in more and more now that it's later, so maybe I'll start doing these later in the day. Makes sense, different time zones, right? If you're more West Coast. But yeah, those are the only three interesting stocks so far, which we'll summarize here in a second. Yeah, now we're into the pretty low short float kind of a zone. So again, this is a version of the A table which Steve and Andy invented, and I kind of just took for my own purpose. I was in CNK. Okay, that's fine. I got out that a little bit. Dave & Buster's. I'm just doing some clicking around on the higher short float ones here. Basically, I just took this and I modified it to make sure that I wasn't looking at any stocks that had just been ramping into the sun. I think I made that it has to be inside of a Bollinger Band. Madison Square Garden, MSGN. Doesn't move enough, I don't think. All right, guys, well, let's go over what I found. It's been about an hour and a half, so Sava. Okay, so one has a request for Sava. Oops. So let's take a look at Sava. A wild one. Holding on. Just basically what I see. You know, it's insane move here. Right, I have to almost look at that twice. $4 to 100 and whatever. That's insanity. So it's crazy. So just know that you're getting involved with something that's crazy. So this could, crash. This could lose 90% of its value pretty quickly. That being said, it could bounce and it could double pretty quickly as well. So I just see that it's holding this area. Generally speaking, if you're looking for a consolidation, you want to see that consolidation as close to the highs as possible. This one's happening a little bit further down. I certainly wouldn't short this thing. It's insane. You've got a month until earnings, so note that and make sure you've got an eye on that. Other than that, it's just holding, right? I would just kind of draw a line under this support area and say, all right, if we're above this 42.82, then we're interesting. Maybe, right, if we're under that, then we've got issues, right? But just know that that's an insane stock, right? So just be careful when you're trading something that's that wild. So, all right, so PGen was the first one we're looking at here on the list. Basically, if I kind of highlight it like this, it may make sense what I'm seeing, but we've got this, which could be construed as a shoulder, and that, which could be construed as a head, and then this could be construed as a shoulder, and then we'd have kind of this as our neckline. So a break out here could be interesting with a stop, right, just back under this area. My only worry is if you look at the candles, how junky they are, and it's very hard to describe it technically, but how much overlap there is on the candles, how much topping tails and bottoming tails there is, just shows me that it's a bit of a sloppy trader, right? It's a bit of a gross kind of a trader. So, right, I worry about that. But, right, $3 up to 11, and then a slow grind down. And you can see how I was talking about on Sava, how this one's happening much closer to kind of the top of the range. So it could really get going. So it's an interesting one. I just noticed this. Just noticed right now. I'm glad they put that in red. So post-market March 1st. So definitely won't be this weekend's video because that's Monday, right? Yeah, that's tomorrow. So I can't get involved Monday. So I'll just wait to see, maybe if earnings is a non-event and it's still in this area after, keep in mind. But I just noticed that, so I'm not going to be interested in that for Monday. So I think it's going to be ESI that I'm going to make that short video about. Essentially just big, strong bull flag, right? Big push up. We've been holding this area here for a while. This, call it $17, chopping between 17 and 18. So maybe if we break this, we take a little shot for 20. So that means I'd be getting involved somewhere near 18. My risk would be somewhere near 17. So I'd be risking $1 per share. So if I could get to 20 reasonably, then that's a 2-to-1 risk reward, and that's enough for me to be interested, right? So ESI, I'm going to keep an eye on. And last but not least, I was looking at SMPL. So I'm actually going to just cross out PGen on my little notepad here. And this one's interesting. I just think it may need a little bit more time to mature, in which it's, putting in this tightening pattern right here. And it's doing that after this big, strong push up. So I don't know if it needs to just do this for a while, but basically what I'm going to be looking for is a break and a hold above this line, stop below, and see if it continues here. Other than that, I didn't see too much, and I use a lot of my scanning as an overall market gauge. If I'm not finding anything, it doesn't necessarily mean that the market is bearish. What it does mean, however, is that it may not be the best time frame to be swing trading at that time, right? So I've been doing a lot more day trading. If you guys look back a couple videos in the channel, you can see that I did one that I was kind of testing out a new theory. That theory's been working well. I've been trading it for 2 weeks now, and I think it's made money 3 out of 5 days for the last 2 weeks, and then lost 2 out of 5 days. So again, better than a kick in the teeth. Not quite as good as I would like, but it has some improvement to go. So I think I'm going to be focusing more on that swing trading side of things as things go on, or the day trading side of things, if we're going to continue to be kind of higher volatility and a little bit crazier here. If we kind of calm down, then I think in a few days I'll get more of a swing trading mind, and I'll have more of a swing trading setups. Whereas, when things are right gapping up and then selling, and then there's just a lot of chop, it just makes swing trading a little bit more difficult. Which, when things are a little bit more difficult, I just like to back off a little bit, maybe be a little bit more short-term mindset, and then as things normalize or become more trendy, then I'll kind of pop back in and get involved from there. But that's going to be it for today, guys. I'm going to make this short video, upload that, have that ready for you guys. Again, thank you very much for coming, and thank you for visiting my brand new website. Let's just plug that one more time in the chat here if you haven't checked it out. Now that I'm officially a CMT, I'm going to launch some sort of a alert education type of a thing. I just need to map it out and figure out what that is. But thanks everyone for coming, and I will talk to you